Happy 2018 to everyone. Fox Giselle vlogging in for a continuation of the Takers Part 1. Now, I just want to take this moment to acknowledge, if you're a subscriber to this channel, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for being a loyal watcher of my channel, even though you may not leave a comment, but you may just be a fly on the wall, or you may just collect data to use against me on some later date to read the eyes out of me. But anyways, I'm not gonna be cynical now. I'm gonna be honest. I wanted to do a video vlog for this channel because I haven't really done a video vlog like exclusively for this channel in a long time. Most of all my vlogs for the Cynical Optimism have been, you know, mostly through Facebook Live. And this is to mark the 1-year anniversary of starting this vlog, my Cynical Optimism. I decided to revisit the Takers, because if you watch me on Facebook Live, you probably know that I've had nothing but takers in my life. Both friends, trade, acquaintances, employees, whatever you may have you. There have been takers in my life. And the Takers 2, I'm going to talk about how you, as the person that's being taken from, are probably one of the reasons why this is happening. Why you are also, you know, not an innocent bystander in this thing. I had an aha moment a couple days ago. Now, as a lot of people may know, you know, and because I said this in my Facebook Live video, so I'm just gonna go through a real quick run through this. One of my supporters I saw at the club a couple nights ago, and I saw her at the club. She, you know, we had a nice little kiki and everything like that. But what was a little bit more disturbing was who she was with at the club. Actually, it's a little bit disturbing that she was with a guy, that she brought a guy to a tranny club on the top of it. That's like disturbing within itself. You're going to bring the rabbit into the lion's den. Okay, but that's a whole nother issue. So here's the issue here. She was with one of my pieces of trade that I've had on one of my late night chats with the trade, or, you know, one of those type of scenarios. And mind you, he's a random piece of trade, you know, he's not one of my favorite pieces, but, you know, he did have some good dick. And I confronted her about it, and I had said, okay, you call yourself a supporter, but, you know, how ironic is it that you're with one of my pieces? And, you know, she corrected me and said, bitch, he's not your piece. You know, you can't take ownership of him. You know, how is what I did anything different than what your girlfriend Kimmy has done when she's taken all your pieces? How is it any different than, you know, your gay neighbor that always takes your pieces, or, you know, anyone that walks all over you? And I had to say, and I had to step back, and I had to say, aha. I have an aha moment. You're absolutely right. People will only do what you allow them to do. And I've allowed people to come in my life and, you know, have a free-for-all with whatever, you know, trade, money, you know, my time. And she kind of, you know, put me in my place and said, you know, bitch, if they can do it, then why can't I do it too? So she did not deny that she was a taker, but she kind of put me in my place and let me know that I facilitated in the taking. And I stepped back and I had the aha moment. If you're noticing, I'm at the Salvation Army because I am looking for a new futon, and I got the last futon from here. And I see no other futons. Oh, I see records here. But no futons. Oh, not gonna get lucky this time. Okay. Well, I won't be taking a futon today. That's one thing I won't be taking. Let's see what else they have here. So, anyways, she really brought that to town for me, and I honestly could not argue with her. And I know a lot of people would probably say, "Bitch, we would be whooping her," But no, she absolutely was right. I did not have ownership over the trade. And if I'm gonna get mad at her, I should get mad at like everyone else that's taken from me. I should get mad at Big Dick Dana. If you haven't been following my Facebook Live, you don't know who Big Dick Dana is, but she's a girl that robbed me for every single wig that I had in my house, which I got replaced back. But a girl that robs you of your wigs and leaves you bald is a girl that wishes you harm. I mean, come on now. Who does that? Anyways, there's nothing in this Salvation Army that is pleasing to my eyes. No, that looks too much like it's from the Salvation Army. So, point blank I'm trying to make is that I have facilitated in the taking of the takers. Okay, follow me here. A lot of times, people will take and you are an innocent bystander. Yes, I agree. But when it happens over and over again, you have to re-examine yourself and say, what part am I playing into this taking of the takers? Am I facilitating the taking of the takers? And you have to say and have to tell yourself the hard, honest truth and say, bitch, yes, I am facilitating in the taking of the takers. So, point blank, I had to say, let me give you a scenario. Okay, you guys love my scenarios. Recently, as of yesterday, when I moved to California, one of my pieces of trade, who I don't even really consider him just a piece of trade because consider him a friend with benefits, and because I've known him for 3 years now. I met him originally in Jersey, and when I moved to Brooklyn, he would come to Brooklyn and spend a weekend or a couple of days with me. So, and yeah, we got it in and everything. That goes without saying. But anyways, we had a mutual understanding. Bitch, he knew I was having with other people. I knew he was having with other people. If anything, bitch, I facilitated him having with other people because, my thing is that there is no way I think when I have hooked people up with people, like I've hooked my girlfriend Kimmy up with some of my pieces of trade, that's my way of like trying to tell myself that, you know what? I don't have ownership over him. And to prove that I don't have ownership over him, I'm going to hook him up with one of my girlfriends. Not knowing that the turmoil and the emotional turmoil that causes in the long run. But anyways, and not knowing that sometimes, actually all the time in my case, it's not reciprocated. So, anyways, I've hooked him up with more than a few of my girlfriends. And he's been asking to come out here to come and visit me in California. Now, of course, if you know my story, you know I don't deal with any trade that is worth anything or that actually can afford things that they should be getting on their own. So he's always alluded to the fact, oh, I would love to come and visit you, And I said, oh, okay, because we actually entertained the fact about him getting his own ticket. And when I realized that, child, he can hardly come up with $20 on his own, then I realized that, bitch, okay, if I get a loose $150, I'll get you a one-way ticket out here. So, but I kept dragging my feet. And this is your intuitions talking. Because for months, I mean all the way back to May, and we're in January of 2018, but from May of 2017, I kept dragging my feet about getting him a ticket. Because I've had plenty of opportunities to get him a ticket. But there was something that kept saying in my soul that, Don't get it. I'll get it tomorrow. I'll get it next month. I'll get it next year. So I finally had the money to do it, and I had a spare coin to invest into him coming out here, because I was gonna get a benefit out of this too, because he wants to work in the porn industry, and I know a couple people in the porn industry. And I'm not saying there's a pimping situation going on here, but I've referred people to these people, and they give me a finder's fee. That's one of the ways one of the ways I've made a coin. One thing about out here in California, there are so many ways to make a coin, honey. It is for every hobby, there is an occupation that can be made out of that. Just remember that if you ever come to California. So, I asked him time and time again before I booked this ticket, hey, are you sure before I booked this ticket? And he kept saying yes. And I said again, are you sure before I booked this plane ticket? Are you sure that you have made obligation, that you have canceled out any commitments that you have that may cause you to not take this plane trip and have me regret spending this coin that is non-refundable, by the way, on this trip? I must have asked the boy like 6 or 7 times. So anyways, I booked the trip, and then immediately after I booked the trip, I started regretting booking the trip, because of the fact that he then revealed to me that he's never been on a plane before. And let's be honest, I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. He's a little bit lesser than smart. He's lesser than smart, but he's smarter than dumb. He's somewhere in between dumb and lesser than smart. And he was asking like how to get to what airport was he going to be flying from. Mind you, the ticket was right in front of his face, and he could not read the ticket not because he couldn't read, but because of the fact that he's lesser than smart. He's like, oh, what airport do I go to? I'm like, honey, it says it right there on the ticket. Oh, Dallas? No, that's the overlay, honey. What airport does it show by the timeline that you're gonna start at? Couldn't even. A native of New York and couldn't even pronounce LaGuardia. Bitch, this was the beginning of a disaster. I chose to ignore it, and as time goes on, I even paid for a little bit of insurance. One of my girlfriends that lives in New York knows this guy. Actually, she introduced us together. And I said, hey, how about I send a coin your way, and you use that coin to put him in a taxi just to make sure he gets to the airport in time. Because I'm kind of confident that he may get lost or he just may not make it. So can he come and stay at your house that night? He called Thursday of this week trying to go and spend the night at her house to have with her. Mind you, they're gonna have anyways. That's not what I'm complaining about. He wanted to have with her earlier on because he had no intentions of coming on Saturday and taking the trip anyways. I didn't think of that. So come yesterday, I texted him and I said, hey, have you printed your ticket out? Have you start packing your bags? This is all through text. And he says, can you get a refund? And I was like, I just said a simple no. And here's where the BS comes in. Oh yeah, I can't go, because my job, I gotta stay at my job, and I don't want to lose my job. And you kind of spring this on me at the last minute. Last minute? But you've been asking for this ticket since April of this year. And I booked the ticket like 2 weeks ahead of time. And it's interesting how someone they're worried about a job that they said they quit already. See, this is why I say when I say he's lesser than smart. Because he forgot the lie that he told before, or, one lie got mixed up with a child, whatever. So I did not curse him out. I did not like gripe him. I said, okay, you know what? That's fine. You know, you are dead to me. And if you want to be alive to me, you can start by, you know, repaying me the $150 that I shelled out to get this plane ticket for you. But other than that, you're going to be dead to me. And I moved on. And I just charged it to the game. Because sometimes you have to be an adult about the situation. Me griping, me complaining, me cursing him out, calling him the third sequel to Dumber and Dumber is not going to help my situation. And someone like him that is not probably built and having the thick skin that I have probably won't be able to take a lethal read like I can only give a lethal read. Because, you know, there's a such thing as reading someone for blood, reading the eyes out of somebody, throwing daggers, and a lethal read. A lethal read is like almost like throwing daggers. But you cut real deep here. A lethal read is basically a read that you give someone which will probably require them to have years and years and years and years of therapy to get over how you just told them about themselves. So instead of doing all that to him, because I know he's not mentally stable or mentally set up to take that type of criticism and realism, I just left it alone and I said, you're dead to me, and I just left it like that. And I charged it to the game because no use to fight over spilt milk. And I learned my lesson. I've learned, like, okay, maybe I should not buy any more plane tickets for any more pieces of trade, or anyone for that matter, because I'm getting too old for this. I've done this before. I bought a plane ticket for a friend. It was not a piece of trade, and the person didn't show up. And mind you, this guy that I did this for him, this is the second time he's fucked me over, because he talked about how he was broke last year when I was living in Brooklyn, and guess what I did? I referred him to an older woman that needed some house cleaning, and she wanted to have a hot boy and boxer briefs house clean her house for $150. That is all. No sex, no nothing. And I set it up for him, and he didn't show up. And she cursed me out because of the fact that, you know, I talked up a good game about him, and rightfully so, you know, reputation ruined. But fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Bitch, there's no fool me 2018, there's no more fool me 3 times. There's no third chances. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I don't do New Year's resolutions, but one thing that I'm going to make a stride, and I'm going to take a conscious effort in doing, is making sure that any type of shade that comes my way, any takers that come my way, that I will do everything in my power to make sure I do not facilitate in the taking of the takers. You know, I didn't say I'm not gonna make any mistakes, so I'm not gonna have takers, you know, because sometimes you can't see the takers coming, because, you know, sometimes the takers will come in the form of a friend. Sometimes the takers will come in the form of a sibling or a family member. So you really can't always neglect or, you know, keep the takers away from you in your general vicinity. So, but what you can do, you can make sure that the takers do not make a taking out of you, and that you aren't facilitating the taking. Because I have realized that a lot of times I have facilitated the taking, and I did not acknowledge that in the takers part 1. Because people are gimme, 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 but it's up for you to say, do I want to gimme, gimme? Or you have to put your foot down. And I'm putting my foot down this year. And I come in and I delegate. If you or anyone in your life have been a victim of the takers, start re-examining why you keep attracting takers, and start making efforts to making sure the takers don't take, and that you're not the one that's facilitating the taking. Hey, easier said than done, but hey, it takes a lot. I'm working on a lot of things. I'm seeing a new therapist. My recovery is a constant uphill battle. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say, oh, I'm clean and I'm 30 days clean and I have a chip. No, I'm not gonna sit here and lie because that would not be me. I kept it real with y'all before. But what I will say is that this year I'm gonna keep a lot of my personal stuff to myself because I realized that, like I said before earlier on, some of you guys will take that data, you'll save it for a shady day to use against me in the form of a lethal read. But the thing about a lethal read is that when it comes to me, I'm very immune to it because I've been through hell and back, and I'm pretty sure there's no type of lethal read that can come my way that I, in my thick skin, cannot, can't take. Because hey, when you are used to getting lethal reads, you kind of know the armor to put on to protect yourself from lethal reads. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try to start doing more Cynical Optimisms like that is exclusively for the Cynical Optimism vlog. So you guys will feel like this is more of a exclusive thing for you guys. So my cat is meowing, so that means that I must not neglect her and feed her. So I will see you guys later. And please leave your comments below. And I'm not going to entertain. I think I'm going to start changing my negative thinking. I used to always say, oh, even your negative comments. Fuck your negative comments. Leave your comments below. I'm just going to just keep it at that. Leave your comments below. Ciao. Whatever. I will talk to you guys later. And, yeah. Bye.